I'd like to now ask Sam Drummond, who's representing Senator Janet Rice, who's the Green spokesman for transport, to present the short presentation or speech she was going to provide. Ladies and gentlemen, Sam Drummond from the Greens.
Hi everyone, sorry I won't stand behind this because you won't see me. Apologies for the Senator not being able to come here tonight. This is her bread and butter, so she was pretty distraught that she had to stay back in the Senate tonight. A lot of you might know her from her work in transport planning. I'm a little bit less qualified to talk tonight, so I do have a short statement from her that I'll read. My qualification for buses comes first from growing up in the country, and my dad was a conductor on the trains, and learned very quickly that when the trains fail, it's the buses who come and save the day. And also, if you don't live on that line, you just need that. It's so vital to regional communities that you have quality bus services. The second one was before I worked for Senator Rice, I worked in talkback radio. And apart from smart meters and apart from general abuse of politicians, most of our content came from complaints about public transport. So I know well what you're up against. And the third one is that it's an unspoken rule to work for Senator Rice that you catch public transport. So my 4-kilometre journey to our electorate office in Melbourne takes about 30 minutes by tram, then bus, then tram. So I can really relate to the 20-minute city concept, and I can see it working in Melbourne. But I've got this statement from Senator Rice to read out, and I promise it won't be long, so you can get back into the beers. Janet says, "My apologies for not being able to attend tonight's Bus Industry Confederation annual dinner. The Parliament sitting has kept me away. I last attended a Bus Industry Confederation event when I was Mayor of Maribyrnong in 2006. Now as the Australian Greens spokesperson for transport and infrastructure, I was looking forward to renewing acquaintance with you all. I encourage you to get in touch with me at some other time. Please come up and I'll let you know how to at the end of the night if you want to. The Greens fully support the essential role that buses should play in improving our transport system. We need to be taking a rounded approach to transport and recognise the true value of buses within that system. We know that so-called big infrastructure, like rail, currently has a higher profile with governments and is more likely to be the focus of campaigns from public transport advocates. But we also know that buses are much more versatile and have much lower overheads, with costs being largely operational. When we put money into the bus industry, we see an immediate gain in productivity and immediately better services for commuters. When you announce a new bus route, it doesn't take years or decades for people to benefit, but months or even weeks. People are getting on board buses, yet what we're getting from governments around the country, both state and federal, is chronic neglect of services. It's time governments of all persuasions keep up by recognising their value. This means providing more frequent, accessible and safe services, particularly in outer suburban and regional areas. Critically, it means where funds are limited, as they are with all levels of government, to be spending more on buses and public transport in general, and less on massive expensive tollways that suck the transport budget dry. Take my home state of Victoria as an example. In Melbourne, bus patronage grew an impressive 10.2% last financial year. The Greens took a plan to last year's Victorian election that would match this growth with services, including the immediate funding of frequent bus services in growing suburbs. There's a clear correlation between access to trains and housing affordability, with house prices decreasing by 2% for every kilometre further away from a train station. Train station car parks are full, and residents are forced to run a car for every adult in the family, straining the household budget. By neglecting buses, we're denying the very services to those who could benefit most from them. I saw firsthand in my work, not mine, Janet's, as a strategic transport planner in the city of Hume in outer metropolitan Melbourne, where we saw the need for major improvements in bus services, including bus rapid transit. Appallingly, funds have still not been forthcoming from either state or federal governments. We can ease this strain by giving people a viable choice to catch the bus. That means services, like was up there before, every 10 or 20 minutes, not 40 minutes. In regional areas, inadequate bus services can increase social isolation, prevent people from getting to health and education services, and lessen tourism opportunities. Bus services are the only form of public transport in many of our small towns, yet many routes run so infrequently that they simply don't get people where they need to go when they need to get there. So again, people have no choice but to rely on their cars. We need to be increasing the frequency of regional services, starting with running buses 7 days a week. We need to make departure times and connections to trains and other destinations work for the people who rely on them. In New South Wales, with the election coming up this Saturday, the Greens have committed to redirecting more than $4.5 billion of the money that's meant to go towards WestConnex and NorthConnex toll roads over the next 5 years to public transport, including giving regional buses a much-needed boost. This is the kind of commitment the bus industry and the wider community deserve, and this is our commitment to improving the lives of all Australians. So again, apologies that Senator Rice couldn't be here, and she's thinking of you all as you have this dinner, but please enjoy your night.